live at the Coelib TV studios at Egerton University, Kenya. This is News on Friday. Hello and welcome. 45,700 early pregnancies among adolescent girls have been reported between January and February this year. Early sexual debut, unplanned pregnancy, and a high number of births remain issues for adolescent girls. Where do we go from now as a nation? This is News on Friday. Headlines first. More millions for the youth. Nakuru County allocates more figures towards youth empowerment. Make agriculture sexy. Time to advertise agriculture differently, with the main target being the young people. Wezesha Vijana, how Young Muslim Association is impacting the youth in Garissa County. We put the shoe on the other foot with all the latest from around the ground this week. News on Friday starts right now. I'm Caleb Hoyle. Nakuru County has set aside Kenya shillings 164 million for youth empowerment programs in 55 wards. The funds will help the youth start income-generating projects like posho mill, car wash, tailoring, welding, soap making, and boda boda. The projects also caters for disabled and women. Here is Dr. William Migwi, the County Chief Executive Officer in charge of youth, gender, culture, sports, and social services.
Everybody, I'm Dr. William Migwi, Chief Officer, Youth, Gender, Culture, Sports, and Social Services. We are here at Sarova Woodland Hotel, having a meeting, a youth exchange meeting here at Sarova, involving youth from Kwale, youth from Mombasa and Nakuru County, and the partnership of Youth Bilanoma and the Strong City to come and sensitize the young people on the importance of maintaining peace, especially during this electioneering year. You are aware, in 2007, Nakuru, Kwale and Mombasa were among the hotspots. So this time around, we could not wait until that happens. It's a collaboration between these partners, the Youth Bilanoma, Strong Cities, and the county government of Nakuru, Kwale and Mombasa, to sensitize the young people on the dangers of violent extremism and the need to maintain peace. And as you're all aware, our young people in Kenya, many of them do not have jobs, many of them are idle. So as the county government, and especially of Nakuru, we have already have initiative to ensure that our young people are engaged. One thing I'll be very happy and I'll congratulate our His Excellency the Governor Kenyanjui is to create a Directorate of Youth Affairs, which is currently led by Director Josephat Kimemia. And having this directorate is ensuring to ensure that we are having youth empowerment program for the young people. This time around, we have an allocation of 164 million, which has been set aside to buy youth empowerment items. And I'm talking about posho mills, we're talking items like car wash machine, we are talking about of the month, among many items. So what are we trying to do? When these items are being given to the young people across the 55 wards, young people. This program started last year, and this time around I'll also be very grateful to His Excellency the government, because now we have more money for these young people, which is catering for the PWDs, for the youth, and for women. We are also going an extra mile. I've allocated 27.5 million of the items again, which are now being procured for the sport equipment, that is uniform, balls, and all those equipment that our young people from the ward had just done a requisition. So we are moving on with the program. After we got those items now, they will be distributed in the world. And we are hoping that now, when they get there, a lot of opportunity will be created for the young people. Because sometimes our young people do not have job because they don't have capital, they don't have equipment to start this business. So we are happy for those initiatives. And also beside that, we are also happy for the county government, because Afraha Stadium is being upgraded to international standard, and the works are going on well. At Keringet Sports Academy, again also, the works are also going on. We are hoping by May, June this year, this project will have completed and will have also uplifted the face of Nakuru in terms of uplifting and empowering our young people.
The private sector is the part of the economy that is run by individuals and companies for profit and is not state-controlled. This sector tends to make up a large share of the economy, especially here in Kenya. Well, what role does the private sector has to play as far as youth empowerment is concerned? Here is Ms. Waithera Gaido, the Vice Chairperson Youth Affairs at the Kenya Private Sector Alliance, also known as KEPSA.
So my name is Waithera Gaido, and I wear many hats. One of the hats that I wear is as the Vice Chair of the ICT and Youth Sector Board in the Kenya Private Sector Alliance, as well as co-chair of the Agricultural Sector Network. I'm very happy to be part of this team that is putting together a policy document for the Busia County youth. And this is not a moment to take lightly, because a policy as a statement of intent then is describing the interests of the youth, not just as consumers, but also as producers and contributors to the growth and transformation of Busia County. So first and foremost, I would like to say hongera to the National Youth Council and to the UNDP, which is the United Nations Development Program, for being able to see the value of this particular process and investing very heavily in it. So the private sector is the engine of the economy of any country, and in Kenya I would say if the private sector is the engine of the economy, then the youth are the turbocharge of that engine. And the role of the youth, considering that 70% of the country is under the age of 35, play a critical role, not just in the present, but the future of the growth and socioeconomic transformation of this country. When we look at the latest statistics from the census, the 2019 census, youth constitute about 14 million, and that is youth aged between 18 and 35. 14 million Kenyans, and that is not a small number when you are looking at the economic growth or transformation, or even the stagnation or retardation of a country. And this process that has begun is really critical, especially in establishing the comparative advantage of counties, the comparative advantage of sub-counties, and the comparative advantage of each and every ward in every county. It is important to know not just what opportunities lie in each and every county, sub-county, and ward, if possible, even every village, in order to be able to solve those challenges and ensure that each and every village, all the way up to the county, and even up to national level, or rather it would automatically impact national level, is actually in one way or another involved and in a socioeconomic activity, and is willing to actually contribute to the growth of the village, the growth of the sub-county, the growth of the county. And from the view of the private sector, we see the value of bringing together young people in business, because they also have a role to play in employment creation, not just as employees, but also as contributors to employment creation.
Young Muslim Association is an orphans first charity organization that was established in 1968 after war had ravaged northeastern Kenya. Today, they have partnered with Jamia Tulama for an empowerment program dubbed Wezesha Vijana. The project is seeking to positively impact the youth in Garissa and Tana River. Take a look.
Today we are here to launch a program Wezesha Vijana, which is basically empowering the youth. The program is funded by Jamiatul Ulama, or Council of Theologians from South Africa, and it is implemented by Young Muslim Association. The program basically targets youth from Garissa County and the Tana River. We are giving out 150 sewing machines and 37 motorcycles.
Basically, we are here in partnership with YMA. We've been working with them for the past 10 years, from the time of the drought in the early 2000s. We have a partnership going with YMA, and we were informed about the rate of unemployment in this province, Garissa County and Tana River County. And then speaking to the members of YMA, we came to understand that, unemployment is really high in this region.
Nasikia furaha sana kupewa hiyo sewing machine, na itanifaidisha sana na itaniongezea pia step moja ingine mbele.
The distribution of 1-month-old improved Kenyeji chicks to group farmers has continued in Hell's Gate Ward, Naivasha sub-county. A total of 6,533 chicks were distributed to groups drawn from youth, women and persons living with disabilities. Over 65 farmers groups benefited from the program, where they were trained on proper management, feeding modes and medication for the chicks. The program is said to empower economically the beneficiaries and enhance food security in the county. And of course, from that, we take a very short breather here on News on Friday. We still have much more stories on the other end of the broadcast. Stick with us.
It's E. Kelly.
Welcome back. I'm Caleb Koyo, live at the Koilip TV studios at Egerton University, Kenya. News on Friday continues. According to reports, only 10% of the youth in Kenya are directly involved in agriculture. This percentage is excessively low compared to neighboring countries. There is a general trend of youth moving away from agriculture and the rural areas as a whole. Well, it is time to really make agriculture more attractive to the youth. It is time to really advertise agriculture differently. Here is Tamara Kaunda.
It's done by FOL. If you show this to a young person, a young woman like me, and say go into agriculture, are they going to go into it? Definitely not. I told the World Bank the same thing. If you want to make agriculture attractive, if you want to make it sexy, start by publishing it. Get a young person who's attractive, put them on this picture. I said this in Harare last year to say, can we try to make agriculture sexy? This organization, the UN, the FOA, whoever is involved in the agriculture sector, the advertising, whoever you are, make agriculture sexy. This is the beginning point of making it attractive to the young people.
Right.
If you, the organizers, the frontiers, the people who are supposed to lead us are putting such pictures, what are you sending to a person, a young person from the village? You pick this picture and like, oh, this is what we're living. But if they see a young person here, very attractive like me, and you put me here, even the young men in the village, they'll be like, wow, I want to be like her. I mean, where am I going to find this woman? Let me join agriculture. I mean, this is practical. That's what we need to be talking about. So please, my request is that next time we're going to have such a conference, whatever is coming up, you can look for me on Facebook, Tamara Happy Face Kaunda. Put my picture there and say she's a farmer. And a medical doctor, yeah? Well, most people, they like to see me, oh, don't look at like she's farming, she's a doctor. No, I want to be called a farmer. Right. Because the problem we have in Africa is hunger. We don't need drugs. I work in a hospital, and I can guarantee you 80% of the diseases, why we're losing young people is because of poverty. So why then can't we give them the nutrition they need instead of the drugs? That's my switching from medicine to agriculture. So that's what we should be looking at. Another thing, she's from Singapore, I'm from Zambia. The borrowing rate in Zambia is about 35% to 40%. You can say, yes, I don't have, I don't want to go to the bank or whatever. No, I've tried going there. But why should I to make such a suicidal decision to go and borrow at a 40% rate? It's impossible. I want to go to the government to borrow. They say, no, you need to work for the government for 2 years. But I need the project running. I've got people following me. They need to come to the farm and see what I'm doing. So funding, we're not looking for charity. Like, I was quite offended by the doctor lady who said, no, farming is not a charity. Yes, we're not looking for charity. But if you can give me $10,000 at a rate of maybe 5%, 2%, like the Chinese come, they come with a lower percentage, and they come and invest here and they beat us, I cannot compete with her even if she came to Zambia, because she borrowed maybe from Singapore at a lower rate. But look at me in Zambia, 40%, that's suicide.
Right.
So we can talk and talk and talk, but let's create an enabling environment for the African youth. Because we can't have so much vast land, yet we are languishing in poverty. Netherlands cannot export to Africa if they don't feed their own people. Yes, I'm happy the young people are exporting, but why are we leaving our people? Why are they dying? African graves are the richest because we've lost so many young people to poverty and hunger. So we need to really critically look at agriculture as the oxygen for economical in Africa. It should not be a backbone. I can break my backbone today and I can live on. But if I don't have oxygen, I can't live on. So agriculture should be the oxygen of the economy in Africa. Thank you.
Technical and vocational education and training TVET institutions are pivotal in equipping young Kenyans with skills to improve their employability or pursue solo careers. In essence, these learning centers were created to improve education standards in Kenya. TVET learning institutions are mandated to offer training in various disciplines. What is so unique about learning in a TVET? Here is Kate Kiguru's TVET story, courtesy of State House, Nairobi.
My name is Kate Kiguru and I'm a software engineer. I run a company called Recall Apps. We build mobile apps to help organizations simplify the way organizations collect, interpret, share, and use data to make informed decisions. I did my diploma in computer studies at KIST, that's Kiambu Institute of Science and Technology. It was an unlikely opportunity, I would say. I had been looking I didn't qualify to join the university, so I was initially looking for a college to do journalism, because I thought I wouldn't qualify to be a computer engineer when I hadn't done physics. And it was taking longer for me to get an opportunity to join a school to do media and communication. And a family friend of ours was going to KIST to interview. She wanted to learn how to bake, and KIST was very well known for that. And she said on the same advert that KIST had on the paper, they had an advert for computer studies. And because she knew I had done computers, she said, you can go and try. When I went for the interview, I remember the lecturer looked at me and asked why I had gone. Well, I hadn't done physics in high school and I hadn't attained the minimum grade they were looking for in maths. And I said, well, I have done computers, or I did computers in high school, and I really loved that subject. And I would love for an opportunity, if indeed it's there, and I will give it a try. The way we used to do our projects at the final year, you had to work on something practical. So we would be sent out to find a problem that we can actually address. So they were not just teaching us how to code for those of us who focused on programming or had an interest in that. They were teaching us how to build real solutions. So we build mobile apps to help organizations simplify the way they collect, especially field data. So we started with Akida, which is a Swahili name for supervisor. I wanted to take away the need to have supervisors following field teams. Our clients is in very diverse industry. As I say, Akida can work for any organization that needs to know where their teams are, needs to collect real-time data and communicate with them. So we have security companies, we have some NGOs, we have marketing agencies that use it, we have facilities management companies that use it to keep track of engineers, and we even have guys like Toyota who are in the vehicle sales. They use the app for keeping track of their sales team. I know what it is like with Tibet, like the way you equip the students with the skills, that it becomes easier for even I as an employer to recruit from such an organization, because it will be easier for them to onboard than getting someone who has a lot of basics that I have to train before we can start making use of their skills. So for me, it's usually the first place I would go to. If youth reach out to me, I find time, I invite them to the office, I try to look at what it is they're trying to do, and if there's any way I can support them, I do that. I've also brought in some young people in the organization and let them work with us. Like Maureen over there is a student that I'm mentoring. She's still in school. Grady was a product of mentorship. She came in, I mentored her, and she was able to plug into the team. You only miss the chances you don't give a shot at. And that was the change for me. When I got accepted to KISS, I knew this was another opportunity for me now to get back on track to where I had lost it. So I know that girl out there who's me, but life gives you chances. Take the risk.
Between January and February this year, Kenya recorded a total number of 45,700 early pregnancies among adolescent girls in the country. Early teenage sexual activities have also led to an increased new HIV infections among teens in the country. In January and February this year, Kenya has recorded 98 new cases of HIV every week among girls aged 10 and 19 years. What are some of the causes of teenage pregnancies, and why is it so important right now to go back to the community to draw solutions? Here is Njeri Kabiru, a YouTuber based in Kenya.
Today I'm going to talk about 10 things that causes teenage pregnancy, but then you can also have your input. Give me your input down there. A few weeks ago, I started this campaign and I slowed down into the campaign because of so many reasons. And I posted on this group called African Leading Women, and so many people commented on this post, so many. And I remember thinking, these are the causes of teenage pregnancy out of my experience, but I found out we are so many. The ex-teenage mothers, we are so many, and each person has their own view or their own perspective. And out of that, I collected, put them together, and here I am going to present them to you. Point number 1 is poverty. Poverty is a state of mind. How we bring up our children, we could be wealthy in terms of finances and all that, but we're bringing our children in a poor way. We are not present, we are not connected to them, and also there is that point of lack. Some people are not financially stable, so their children or children from the lacking communities are trying to find a solution to their problems, and that leads them to getting pregnant. For example, there's a girl from the slum who slept hungry for 2 days. There's a boyfriend somewhere who can give her 200 shillings. 200 shillings could feed their family in the slum for that one night, even if they will share a very small meal, but that is important to them. What will she do? She'll keep on going back to the boyfriend for 200, and when he asks her for sex, what will she do? She'll give herself in, you know. So poverty is one of the leading, major leading. And the dangerous point with poverty is that Then the girl gets pregnant, the man disappears, or the man is present but he was not ready to be a father. So the girl starts raising this child on her own, and the cycle repeats. Then she digs herself into more poverty and more poverty than even before. So point number 1 is poverty. Please leave a comment down there. What do you think? What is your experience? Did you ever experience that? And when I said this, so many people told me, no, it's not. It is. This is my perspective. It is. But that does not mean that children from wealthy families don't get pregnant. There are other causes. I'm just saying the children from the lacking family are more prompt to getting a solution to their problem that goes into teenage pregnancy. So that's my number 1. My number 2, oh my God, this was so loud on this African Leading Women post, where I posted, so many people said ignorance. They know about sex, they know that they could get pregnant, but they were ignorant. What causes ignorance? That I'm still digging, I'm still trying to find. But one of the things that I realized that causes ignorance is lack of affirmation. Like a child knows this, but there is no one to confirm to her. No one is confirming about her beauty. No one is confirming about her intelligence. No one is confirming about who she is. So she will go out looking for those affirmation. And once she gets them from somewhere, then ignorance. She will be ignorant about any other thing around her and focus on this that is feeding to what she needs. So that's my point number 2. Point number 3 is peer pressure. This is where that children have bad influences around them. Bad influences are just their peers, their friend. A friend, your child brings a friend home in front of you, they behave very well. You do not dig to know where they live, who are their parents, what are their faith, what are their values. These are things that you need to know. Your child's friends, yes, these are things you need to know. So peer pressure comes in that form. And then lack of guidance, like whatever they are doing, there's no one to guide them. So they will guide themselves into making bad decisions. So peer pressure is one of the things that is there. And then with the young children, because they are trying to discover themselves, their body, they want to talk more about boys, or boys want to talk more about girls without proper guidance. Then that can be taken to a whole new other level, leading to teenage pregnancy. And then because of peer pressure, if one person among us, the circle has experienced other boys have experienced girls have experienced boys, then that they put pressure on each other. The 4th thing, adolescence. Adolescence is, everyone I think knows what adolescence is, but due to body changes and feeling a certain way, the children start to think that they're grown enough, like they're big enough, I'm more beautiful now, I am an adult. They start carrying themselves as adults to a certain level, and that one they cause or they push themselves to wanting to experience new things, and these new things lead to teenage pregnancy. So adolescence is another cause of teenage pregnancy. The 5th one is lack of emotional support. Yes, lack of emotional support. And this one I would really talk in our culture and our community. Nowadays, I think parents are really getting in touch with their children, but most parents are not yet there. Please, talk to your child. Be the one to talk to them about sex. Be the one to tell them about teenage pregnancy. Be the one to talk to them about future spouse. What do they look for in spouse? Be the one to really talk to them about relationships are for later. Right now, education is more important. Make a friendship relationship with your child so that when you say these things, then they are more valuable. Emotional support is one of the major things. I would really urge parents, and especially parents now, that takes you back, because you really need to take care of yourself so that you can be emotionally available for your children, because most of us are more emotionally when it comes to getting angry, not talking to them in a very affirmative way, you know, telling your child, not listening to your child when they say something, and then you argue with your child like they're an adult. If you're not coming to consensus where you understand each other, most of the parents want to now bring the whole hurt feelings like I'm your parents. With this generation, you have to go a bit different from our generation. So, and that takes me to the 6th point. The 6th point in this journey is technology. Yes, technology. All of us have bought mobile phones for our children, laptops, tools. If we haven't bought for them, we have them and we allow our children to use them. It's very good. You need to create a pattern and a trust. Keep on checking what your child is watching. Keep on talking to your child. Keep on following up. Keep on finding out what is she or he after. First thing for me, my child signs her phone with my email. I sign the phones with my email. I sign the phones with my number so that I get to follow up. What are they after? But most of us are so comfortable and we look at our children as angels. They are children. They will make childish decisions. So it's up to you to guide them. On technology, I really want to talk about this on technology. I saw this on YouTube and I thought it's a bit crazy, but it's so true that the technology, like for example, when a child is watching something on YouTube or all that, sometimes do not trust those apps. They will bring up content like ads that are not for children, and children just creating curiosity, and they get to know who is watching. We are not like nowadays in this world, we get to live under people's eye. They can still see us even if we don't see them. So what I would tell you, if it's your child's phone and everything, sit down, watch with them, have a pattern. Monday to Friday, no technology. Saturday, let's do it together. I think if not, tape your camera, the camera on the phone, the camera on what, put a tape there, let them watch when no one else is watching them what they are watching. I'm just saying that. I saw that video and it was very, very educative to me. So yeah, technology is one of the things. So my point number 7, so far so good. Let me know how these points are going, and I'm trying to summarize them because I don't want to keep you long here, but I want to give you this information. Please do not forget to leave a comment. Leaving a comment is very important. You don't have to say something, just say what you think about this video or your contribution towards this video. So point number 7 is denial of freedom. Most children feel like their freedom is denied. And I know parents, we want to be so strict, and it's very, very important. There's a difference between being strict and denying freedom. If you're denying freedom, that means you're just locking them in as prisoners. You're not letting them know why you're being strict. That way, they'll just wait for a moment, the moment that you let them go. See, they'll be like, see me, I'm going to boarding high school. Yeah? They come back later, after they close school, they first go and then come few days later to your house. So being strict is good, but can you communicate? I am giving you a curfew up to 6 o'clock because from 7 o'clock, it's children, they should be inside. They should be inside because they are protected from rape, from making bad decisions, and that is why I'm putting you in here. So have reasons why you're denying them the freedom. So point number 9, and this is really, really, really also major in our African society, because I feel like we have to start changing the way we have been carrying things because of how the world is evolving. Neglect. Parents neglect their children without knowing that they're neglecting. When I was growing up, if my parent would give me more responsibility, take care of the baby, cook, and all that. And back then, it was okay because the society had not really developed in that way. But today, there's so much evolving that has happened. So much change that has happened. And with that, we can't neglect our children. Neglecting our children is giving them responsibility, adult responsibility when they're still children. Even if you want her to take care of the child, when you come back and cover it up. I know some of us cannot afford to have the house help. It's good when your child is helping you, but do not neglect them in a way, leaving that child to raise that child. You can give them responsibility to help you raise the child for these hours. I'm coming back to take back my child. But when we come back, we want to sit down. When the child cries, you're like, Nani, take the child, carry the child. Why is she crying? No, you're back home, take back the responsibility of you being a mother and let the child be the child. So I find neglect to be very, very diverse and a discussion that can take days to really digest it. And part of this neglect, one other thing is that parents assume financial responsibility to their children. If you want your child to learn how to budget things, you give her 200, do the calculation with her. It starts like that. And some parents also neglect, like they live without thinking what these children will eat. They sorted themselves yesterday, they'll sort themselves today. You're putting your child in a risk of taking that responsibility, grown-up adult responsibility. That way they'll start feeling like an adult, or they'll start fixing the problem, going out to look for people who can give them something or some cash. Number nine, self-image. Self-image. Your child's self-image is very, very important. Teach your child how to be confident. Intentionally create confidence in them. Build their self-esteem. I know this will come down later and digest one by one, ways how to build your child's self-esteem. But I would really, really recommend that you build or you create awareness in your child's self-esteem. Who they are, their identity is very, very important. Last one and important, lack of relationship. Parents, your children are watching you. Who they become mostly is contributed by you, by school, their environment. School and environment, that one is optional. But you as a parent, who your child become or how they grow up to become depends on you. So I would urge you to really, really define a relationship with your child and create a good, healthy relationship. There's a time I told someone, once a week or once a month, you can go for an ice cream. It doesn't have to be very expensive ice cream, 50 shilling type of an ice cream. If you live in the ghettos and you're watching this, you can buy soda, like the glass 1 liter one, that is 70 or 80 shillings. Divide it in the glasses, have a conversation with your child. That is the moment they feel loved. That's the moment they're starting to think, oh, mom or dad thinks about me. And that is your moment to present who you are, to present what you think, to present your values towards your children's life.
Mombasa, just like any other major city, has had to battle the challenge of waste management, from having dump sites at undesignated areas to uncollected garbage piled on road reserves. To most residents, the garbage is an eyesore that poses the risk of disease such as malaria and cholera. But to Michael Kiwo, amid the problem lies a business opportunity which he quickly took advantage of. He believed so much in his potential that he had to quit his job to pursue his business dream. Of course, we understand that Mr. Kiwo started this business at a very early phase of his life. And to get a leg in the industry, Mr. Kiwo started with Kenya shillings 1,500. Of course, that was actually his savings to buy some dustbins. He also turned to his family for further financial support of Kenya shillings 15,000, enabling him to purchase his first handcut. And right now, we understand that Mr. Kiwo makes around 300 Kenya shillings each and every day. According to him, this venture is also a form of empowerment to the employed youths, as they not only manage to afford decent lifestyle, but also keep them away from drugs. The firm is also currently offering services to over 150 clients, collecting over 20 tons of waste daily, and they also offer other services including pest control and fumigation using high-quality detergents and pesticides. From Mombasa, we take a very short breather here on News on Friday. When we come back, we have sports. Stay with us. Welcome back. This week on Bowler's Profile, we look at Ruth Ingotsi, Harambee Starlets defender, currently playing for EL Champions FC. The Harambee Starlets defender who has had a very long spell in Cyprus as a footballer, as she initially played for Lakatame FC before joining AEL Champions in 2020. The 27-year-old, who can play in any defensive position, is set to feature in the UEFA Women's Champions League later this year, actually. Of course, from that moment, I think we have covered all the stories that we had this week. We see you again next week. Remember to listen to me each and every day of the week from Monday to Friday on Quality Breakfast from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. in the morning. Listen to Roxana Gishi as well on the Nutrition Mantra Show from 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. Listen to Brenda Viola as well, together with Bill Clinton, aka Mtoto wa Wanjiku. But just so you know, in Taliban, men were actually banned from going to work. If you don't have a beard in Taliban, you're not going to work. So most of them have been, of course, using some artificial beard so that they can just keep their jobs. That is how crazy it is somewhere else. So whatever you have right now, appreciate it. Wherever you are, whatever you do this week, just remember to be amazing. I'm the once amazing, always amazing, Caleb Koyo. See you all next week. Take care.